Here we are, finally the 91 300 C124 that we did a video on, what, probably 3-4 months ago. It's sorted and it's running really well now. Very happy with it. I took it for a good 200 odd kilometer drive this weekend on freeway and side roads and through town and just doing proper testing on it. And honestly, the only thing I picked up was that the tires didn't feel quite right. And when I had a look at it, the rear tires are from 2002. That's how little this car's been used in the last 23 years. Unbelievably. I mean, look at this, the tread on it here still. Probably a couple of millimeters deep, but 2002. So that's the next thing that Bella and I will be doing, is obviously putting on a new set of tires. And then the car is going for ceramic coating and just getting all this oxidized paint off the paintwork, and yeah, then it's ready to go. Beautiful car. Let's take it for a drive. And if you remember the last video, there was a hesitation when you pulled away, and the car would run perfectly until it warmed up, and as soon as it warmed up it'd start misfiring, and the first thing we thought, obviously, is because it had been standing for a significant period of time, fuel system. So Joe from Quinn's Auto pulled the tank, cleaned out the tank, did the fuel pumps, did the Bosch K-Jet, did basically everything there. And then, yeah, I'll talk about what it actually turned out to be while we're on the test drive. So let's go do it. So straight away, it pulls very cleanly now, drives really nicely. And what it actually turned out to be was a simple crack in the rotor. So we replaced the distributor cap, and the rotor, and we got those from the SL shop in the UK, sorted it out. Runs absolutely magnificently now. I think maybe we should close the window. It's probably a bit windy here. Yeah. Let's just do that quick before we carry on with the video. Put on the aircon. Yeah, there we go. Far more refined, eh? And yeah, it just performs as it's supposed to for the first time in years, which is really, really nice. So it was a simple fix. I mean, people were offering us 100,000 Rand less than the value of the car, you know, for misfire that turned out to be something that cost, how much was that rotor? 80 pounds? Yeah. Somewhere around there. So a nice, easy fix, and a simple one as well. But really what I wanted to do is something we didn't do the last time, and everybody who watched that first video said, you know, I drove it too slowly, I didn't show you how it accelerated, and that's really the purpose of this car. It's a multi-valve M104, the very first M104 with Bosch KE Jetronic as opposed to the electronic ignition. It also has a sort of limited slip diff as a form of traction control, and that's this ASD that this car has. Let's see if it's nice and clear here. Turn off the aircon. Okay, so if I'm going along, red line is at 7 as opposed to about 6.5 on the other M104s. But really, it performs exceptionally well. So if I kick down now, let's get it going here. It really picks up speed nicely. There we go. So I'm not going to obviously go too fast. We reached 100 and a bit there. But what a difference. What a difference a simple little thing makes. And that's also the other reason why I wanted to do this video. Don't listen to the naysayers. Don't go to garages that are just trying to make money. I mean, somebody was quoted 50 or 60,000 Rand to rebuild this whole fuel injection system. And they would have done it. They would have spent it, and they would have achieved nothing, because it would have still misfired, because that was not the issue. Don't get sucked into that vortex of dishonest people trying to get you to part with your money unnecessarily. And yeah, it took us a little bit of time, and eventually the way it happened is that during December, I thought, that's it, you know. This car we've been battling with for too long. Let me take it home. I filled it up, and I spent a day sitting in it trying to replicate exactly when that misfire happened, because it was very inconsistent. And as soon as I did that, it was obvious what the issue was. So, and as I said, it was a very cheap one. So beautiful car. There's a lot of interest, and I believe it has actually already been sold now, or it's certainly reserved pending payment. And yeah, it seems like it's found a very good home, a collector up in Johannesburg of older cars is probably going to take it. So yeah, what a nice car, and what a result. I'm going to talk, I'll just drive a little bit. You can see what it's like. Very refined. There's a bit, I say I'm not going to talk, but there's a little bit of a rumble, and those are those tires, those 23-year-old tires. So I think once that's done, it's really going to transform the ride as well. Pulls so cleanly. The last time we came around here, we cut out here. Remember that, Bella?
Yeah.
Look at that. Just pulls cleanly. There's nothing. And the other thing about these cars is these 300 CE24s, the automatics are 5-speed autos, as opposed to every other 124, which is a 4-speed auto. So 5-speed auto. And I noticed on the freeway this weekend when I was doing that test drive, at 130 it's revving at just under 3,000 revs. Very unlike any other 124 I've ever driven. But what a beautiful car. What a stunning looking car. What a solid car. And also looking through the service history. Excuse me. Looking through the service history this weekend, the gentleman that owns it had kept a list, a little book, from when he bought it, and every little thing that he's done on it was written in the book.
I think there were even invoices from when they got it. They were trying to sort out the issue back in the 90s in Zim.
Crazy, eh?
Yeah.
So that issue has been with this car for the life of the car, and nobody could fix it. Mercedes couldn't fix it. Nobody could fix it. Something as simple as that. But yeah, you're right. What a magnificent history. Basically, the history of the car is that it was sold in Malta initially, which is obviously also right-hand drive. The owner then imported it into Zimbabwe, where he lived. He was a pilot, and imported it there, and then moved down to South Africa in the early 2000s and bought it in here and registered it here, I think in 2008. But he bought it, looking through the history, he bought it with 82,000 miles on in 2002, 2003. It's now done 90,000 miles. So, I mean, it's had so little use, this car. And just everything works. Everything works. The electric blind at the back, the aircon, the speed control. It feels rock solid. Yeah. Obviously, odometer. There's not a warning light on. Gearbox is very, very, very responsive. And I think once it has its clay polish, we're not going to do any resprays or anything like that. It's it's got the original paint. That's great. There's the odd little scratch and stuff from use. The owner did stay on a farm here, and that's fine. So we're going to get it properly polished, and then have that ceramic coating put on as well. So just going to preserve it. But look how cleanly it pulls. Magnificent engine. Let me slow down here. Very smooth and refined. Anyway, that was the result, and a good one at that. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoy the videos on the channel, please subscribe. We're going to be doing a bit more as well. I don't know if you saw that Chevy there as we started the video in the old Mercar yard. Once we get that started properly and running, we're going to be doing a video on that as well. And there's a few other things coming up as well over the next week or so. So once again, thanks for watching, and enjoy.